Welcome to CTV News, your Canada. It is Tuesday, March the 10th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
An outpouring of emotion for the family of Stefan Jankowski, who deployed to Afghanistan in 2009 for an 8-month tour. In 2011, while back home in Windsor, he died at just 25 years old.
It was PTSD and an accidental overdose. I was more upset with the military sending him home too quickly without seeing how his mental state was.
When Jankowski's comrades prepared his uniform for the funeral, they noticed something important was missing.
I was expecting to find his medal, which we had been awarded in Kandahar, Afghanistan, in the winter of 2010, to be in the breast pocket of that uniform. It wasn't. So we searched.
And searched for more than 14 years until a collector who specializes in recovering lost Canadian military medals found it and worked to return it to the family.
I just came into possession of this campaign star for Afghanistan, and it is named to Trooper Stefan Jankowski.
During a ceremony Sunday at Legion 644, that medal was presented to Jankowski's daughters, with replicas given out to the rest of the family.
His legacy never ended. It never ended. He's still here and he's impacting so many people to this day after, over a decade.
I didn't really know him growing up, and it's like a type of closure, if that makes sense.
Jankowski served with the Royal Canadian Dragoons, an armored reconnaissance regiment in the Canadian Army. Those who trained alongside him say the soldier they remember was there for his peers.
I'm not a good runner. Steph is a much better runner than me. So during PT, I would get in trouble for being the slowest runner. So he would push me in my back just to keep me going.
And just as he pushed others forward, his friends and family kept pushing, determined to bring this piece of his story home. Nearly 15 years after it disappeared, a medal once thought lost is now where it should be.
I would like to thank the person who found the medal. It's bringing Stefan back to life. We miss him.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
I could barely believe it when I stepped onto the ice. Methane bubbles layered and stacked like frozen breath.
A natural phenomenon in central Alberta made even more eye-catching. For earth artist David Popa, having Abraham Lake as a canvas is a dream.
It's stunning because it's, as you know, sort of a miracle of a location. You have the clarity and the deepness of the turquoise, unbelievable fracturing, cracks, and then, of course, these methane bubbles.
Popa spent 12 days in the Nordegg area mid-January, about a year after he was first contacted by Travel Alberta about partnering.
We're trying to do something different than just imagery, which is mountains and frozen lakes.
Different and difficult. Popa is used to creating art on ice in the Baltic Sea near his home in Finland. With this piece, he says there were moments he wasn't sure he could pull it off.
It was like 0 to 3 degrees, so it was either like windy and then my chalk or charcoal would freeze on the surface, then it would warm up because of the sun.
Popa also attempting a 2-day project in a location where the wind could easily sweep away his entire first day of work. Instead,
being able to just pull off this piece in the perfect weather window with the sunset, like this can't be happening.
Popa's second piece in the region, in Klein Creek Canyon, lasted just 1 day. He uses only natural materials. Popa returned to Abraham Lake for the third, working from sunrise to sunset at about -15 degrees to finish.
These are the kind of adventures I live for.
The golden color between the faces inspired and sourced from a Nordegg pigment artist whose studio Popa visited just a few days prior.
It's not only the place, but it's also the people.
Travel Alberta's Instagram post about Popa's pieces is its top video with over 4 million views, helping accomplish its goal of exposing the province's lesser-known destinations to more of the world. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The third Monday in April will mark 100 years since this moment, when an unknown kid, to everyone but the people back home in Sydney Mines, of course, came out of nowhere to win the 1926 Boston Marathon.
It's been a goal of mine to get to this marathon because Johnny Miles is such a big deal around here.
This year, more than a dozen Cape Breton runners, including these four, will mark the centennial of Miles' historic win by heading to Boston and running the race.
I wanted to be able to go to Boston and wear a shirt that says, I'm following in the footsteps of Johnny Miles.
From the looks of things, he will. These shirts are being ordered for the Cape Breton runners to wear on the Boston course.
I mean, it is an amazing feat. Johnny Miles is one of our Nova Scotia's greatest athletes.
And much has been done in his hometown to preserve his memory. There's a highway sign, a larger-than-life statue, and annual races in Sydney Mines and in New Glasgow, where Miles lived later in life, that bear his name.
It's nearly on par with the Olympics. The Boston Marathon is so well known. So for us to have someone that's been there 100 years ago, won it, then went to the Olympics in 1928.
Then and now, part of the Miles legend is his blue-collar background. He once worked in his father's coal mine and first ran the world's most famous race in a pair of 98-cent sneakers.
He would run after the milk cart, and that was his training.
T-shirt that his mom sewed a maple leaf on the front of.
For years, Bostonians have known Nova Scotia for their Christmas tree, and on April 20th, some of them might once again remember the province's marathoner who came to their city and became a champion.
When they see that people are running in the footsteps of someone who has done it in the past, I think they catch on. People who run Boston, they know the history of Boston.
And of course, Johnny Miles won Boston a second time in 1929, so in 3 years, no doubt another contingent of proud Cape Bretoners will mark that milestone as well. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Louisbourg, Nova Scotia.
The air may have been warmer, but the water was still freezing. 47 teams and more than 300 people dipped into Lake Erie to raise money for ChildCan, and children like Michaela steal a point.
Got diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. It's a bone cancer in my ribs. I went through 14 rounds of treatment, 28 days of radiation, a bunch of surgeries, but you know, I did it and I'm here.
The 14-year-old Londoner was one of many child cancer survivors at the annual polar dip in Port Stanley. Even though the temperature reached double digits, they still needed to carve out the ice, and it rained the majority of the time.
You never know what you're going to get, but the enthusiasm is always over the top. People will come out, come rain, shine, solid ice, whatever.
ChildCan set a fundraising goal of $100,000, and before anyone had even stepped foot in the water, they had already surpassed that total.
ChildCan provides real tangible supports to families and kids who hear the words their child has cancer, from covering the cost of parking to meals in hospital, providing real tangible financial support. And the reason we can do that is because of fundraisers like this.
Michaela had firsthand experience of the help from this event. Her family received emotional and financial support during her treatment.
They would give us meal vouchers, you know, if I was craving a little Tim Hortons or something, I would always be able to get some. Especially the workers there, they were always so sweet. They would do crafts with me, they just talk with me, you know, figured out what I liked and asked if I wanted to do it and stuff, and that made me it made my time really good.
She was able to ring the bell on December 19th, ending her expected time in hospital.
I was hysterically bawling. It was so bad. It was such a nice day. Hopefully all the cancer's dead, no more surgeries. I'm so blessed.
Brent Leo, CTV News.
Won't go, and the dominance continues for the Carleton Ravens.
When the buzzer sounded in Calgary Sunday night, the Carleton Ravens had done it again.
Championship number 18.
Beating the Bishop University Gators 78-75 to claim their 18th national championship. The team now back in Ottawa after the hard-fought victory, with the Ravens overcoming injuries and a back-and-forth final.
I was happy about how we were able to step up on the adversity. Sometimes when you don't have all your guys, you can make an excuse why you're not going to win. But I thought the guys did a great job, and I'm just proud of their effort yesterday.
And for us to just keep fighting, and to finally come out with the result, just resilient is the word that comes to mind.
But back on campus, some students are still catching up.
Do you know when the national championship game is?
No idea.
Do you know who won the national championship game?
No idea.
Your school won.
Oh my God, no, I didn't know that. I learned that.
Why does nobody know?
I don't know. I've heard nothing about it.
I'm not up to date on a lot of sports anyways.
Most people that I know don't even follow the NBA, don't follow anything like that, right?
Your school won.
Oh, yay!
At a school with a trophy case that's now as full as the Boston Celtics, some students say another title is almost old news.
I don't know if people are getting complacent because we won 18 times now, so it's just like any other day for some people, but I don't know, it's amazing.
I saw the highlights, saw the Instagram posts, so
yeah,
it's pretty good, yeah.
For those who cover youth sports, the lack of excitement is no surprise.
It's a little frustrating, it's disappointing. I think, that's the million-dollar question that everyone asks with youth sports is how do they get alumni involved to the same degree that they do at U.S. colleges? How do they get the student body involved to the same degree?
But for some students, there was a perfectly good reason to miss the game.
Can I use school as an excuse?
Still, the team excited about another championship.
To go for the first time and just experience it and then come out with a win, it was amazing. I can't even describe it, honestly.
Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
That is so good. That's a big bite for a big arch.
In a new social media video, McDonald's CEO takes a bite out of the big arch while holding up a burger with a negligible bite mark.
It's a delicious product.
The burger, or the product, as Chris Kempczinski refers to it, includes 2 quarter-pound patties and rolled out in the U.S. within the last several days. But a video of the fast food giant's top boss taste testing the new burger has people roasting him online for the awkwardness of it all.
Well, the McDonald's CEO is almost like he's a vegan. The last thing he wants to do is bite into his own burger, and he nibbles on it.
Commenters agree. One saying he was eating that burger like he was a contestant on Fear Factor. Another referencing a SpongeBob scene where Squidward takes the tiniest of bites from a Krabby Patty. Fellow fast food chains even got in on the beef, from comments to videos of their own.
This is exactly the way a great hamburger should be.
The Big Arch became available to Canadians in 2024 and was only around for a limited time. But after calling around to a couple Canadian McDonald's locations, employees tell CTV News the social media craze over the U.S. launch now has customers calling in constantly, asking if the Big Arch is still available.
Why don't we go ahead and see if this burger is available at our store? What's the whole hype about? So definitely it's going to be positive for them in terms of dollars.
Here's some food for thought. One marketing expert from the University of Guelph believes these so-called burger wars between brands may actually be good for McDonald's, regardless of mockery.
Their CEO was not very relatable. McDonald's, it did not plan for it to go viral in this direction, that other CEOs would come and mock them. But every time the story is mentioned, McDonald's is at the center of the story.
It seems everybody wins here, with the exception of maybe the McDonald's CEO because of how reluctant he looked biting into the burger that feeds him. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
The last time Calgary hosted the World Women's Curling Championship was in 2021. It was played behind closed doors due to COVID-19. Carrie Anderson and her rink are hoping for a better experience this time around.
The cardboard cutouts weren't ideal, but we're just super excited for it, and we're changing it up a little bit. We got an Airbnb instead of staying at that same hotel where we lived there for months and months. So, we're super excited, and a lot of our family and friends are coming, and we're going to have so much support in the stands.
Carrie Anderson and the team from Gimli will advance.
This will be Team Anderson's 5th appearance at the World Curling Championship, and so far they have 2 bronze medals to show for it. They'd love to win gold this time around.
You don't know how many times you're going to be in this position. To make the most of it and to come home with a victory, I think would mean so much.
Team Anderson will be one of the veteran teams at this year's Worlds, and they're hoping to use that to their advantage.
We're one of the oldest teams in the field, which is kind of strange to say. Bit of a new guard coming in with some of the teams. So, like I said, just lean on our experience and just start the week with confidence.
Lead Carly Burgess will make her debut at the Women's Worlds, but she does have international experience, winning the World Junior Curling Championship 3 times.
It is a long week. There's mental and physical emotions, but I'm just really excited that I get to play along the girls that have been there and have experienced it. So, I think it'll be a fun week.
City of Westmount residents woke up to some pesky news Monday. A notice on the city website announces the temporary closure of Westmount Public Library. And officials say it goes back to last Friday. That's when an inspection found bed bugs in the adult computer section. A secondary inspection was conducted today and revealed, quote, evidence of bed bugs in other areas beyond those initially found. CTV reached out to the library and the office of Westmount Mayor Michael Stern for comment. We did not hear back in time for broadcast, but we spoke with an expert. Don Prashker is a Montreal exterminator, and he says an infestation can happen easily.
People are literally borrowing books from the library, reading those books on their bed at night till they fall asleep, putting the book down right next to them, and then waking up in the morning. And if that bed is a victim of bed bugs, that book is now going to be a victim of bed bugs.
Now, according to the City of Westmount's website, the library's closure is intended to ensure a thorough treatment of the space. Meanwhile, Prashker says there are things you can do if you've tracked bed bugs home.
Heat kills bed bugs. Whatever goes in the dryer comes out guaranteed a half an hour later, bed bug free. So sheets, pillows, blankets, anything to do with the word linen or bedding, a good half an hour in the dryer, and you can use those articles again, guaranteed without bed bugs. While your mattress is free of linen, a vacuum to vacuum the seams and just vigorously go around the whole mattress. You're doing two things. You're removing anything that could be there, but you're also visually inspecting.
Prashker says bed bugs are usually easy to spot, and here are some characteristics. They're visible to the naked eye, range in color from red to dark brown. They're oval in shape, about the size of an apple seed. They don't jump or fly. They move at the speed of an ant, and their eggs are whitish, pinhead-sized, and laid in clusters in tight spaces. It's unclear when the library will reopen, but the adjacent heritage greenhouses and Victoria Hall show no evidence of bed bugs at this time and remain open to the public. Anastasia Dextrine, CTV News.
Who or what is faster? People or Gen AI?
This generation of students is growing up unlike any other. In an all-new AI era, lessons are evolving beyond the basics.
Yeah.
I see circle or potato.
These grade 2-3 students at Agnes McPhail Public School learning how AI works.
The algorithm searches for something. It searches for
information and its limitations.
Sometimes it can make mistakes.
While these grade 6-7 students are being taught to use it responsibly and think critically.
AI is just using the code that human gave it. I don't know what AI is capable of.
How is AI like a toaster?
Tell me.
It's like sometimes when you put like the bread in a toaster, it might get burnt. It's similar to like when AI gives you the wrong information.
Teacher librarian Diana Malashevsky, also known as Miss Molly, is helping navigate the way forward at the TDSB.
When you search for it, make sure you write -AI so that it doesn't automatically come up with an AI answer.
Her approach is one of curiosity and caution.
I don't want students to think that thinking isn't worth it anymore, that the creative process isn't worth it, because AI could do it so much faster.
But with AI capable of so much now, even generating this bridge right here in the middle of my story, figuring out how to prepare students for the future is complex.
At the University of Toronto, Professor Susan McCann is at the forefront of efforts to integrate AI into education, infrastructure, and operations.
It's a monumental shift.
The chair of U of T's AI task force says AI is here for the long haul, and currently about 95 courses have AI tutors to support learning.
It is upending many of the standard practices that we have honed over many generations of educators. At the same time, it's also offering unprecedented opportunities for new ways of teaching and new ways of assessing learning.
You don't have to search far to find students tapping into the tool, from Microsoft Copilot to ChatGPT and Claude.
I have found that it helps a lot with breaking down my information and distilling information from lectures, but I still find that sometimes it does hallucinate.
In some cases, grappling with what is acceptable use. Brandon Terry is working on his thesis and doesn't want to risk his academic integrity.
How do you use it? Can you use it?
what's the most ethical way to use it.
The goal isn't stopping AI, but navigating it responsibly.
The thought that, yes, leveraging AI could be detrimental learning is absolutely true. It's about how the students are using it.
Professor Toby Grossman and his colleagues have created an AI system called LearnAid, built to teach students with AI, but not replace thinking.
It guides students without revealing the direct solutions.
As Professor McCann sees it, the days of traditional essays are over. She says there's also been a shift back to in-person learning.
You can't leapfrog over learning. Like, learning requires a certain degree of struggle.
Because as AI enters the classroom at all levels,
How many of you use AI when you're at home?
the challenge, say educators, is adapting to innovation while preserving what makes learning human.
In Regina, there seemed to be a common theme in the week leading up to International Women's Day, young female entrepreneurs, one of which was Kyla Guru, a keynote speaker at the University of Regina's Inspiring Leadership Forum.
It's not often that you get to bring people physically together into spaces that feel safe and feel warm and welcoming in technology, specifically for women. So it's a very unique opportunity for women in Saskatchewan.
The 21-year-old Stanford student says she started putting the pieces together for her company at just 14 years old. Guru saw a prevalence of cyber attacks going on around her and wanted to come up with a solution to protect people.
So I started educating in schools, K-12 schools, to talk about cyber. It actually just started with my former elementary school. I went in and I did a 30-minute session to talk about my top 10 tips on staying safe, and it snowballed from there.
On Sunday, it was the inaugural She Means Business Build a Business workshop. There were plenty of female industry leaders on hand to lend their expertise to the next generation of female entrepreneurs.
We've had this idea for quite a while, but really was wanting to start the entrepreneurship journey as early as we could and show them kind of the support from the local community and other women business leaders in the community about what's possible.
Peterson says the biggest aim of the workshop is the passing down of knowledge and to show the young girls in attendance what is possible for their futures.
The biggest thing is we're going to take them all through little workshops, but we're going to have little confidence builders in between. So there's going to be some high fives, there's going to be some icebreakers, they're going to talk about their superpowers, just really trying to keep it fun and light for the girls. I've seen everything from a slime business to a kids spa, so sounds like they're having fun.
International Women's Day truly bringing out the entrepreneurial spirit this year. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Although the sign in his window says hair studio, Tony Lee says he's often mistaken for being a hat seller.
And then they come in here and then they say, oh, I like that one, come on down. And I said, no, it's not for sale.
Because every one of the dozens of hats that decorate Tony's barbershop is priceless.
And yeah, many stories.
All different stories that all begin the same way, with a stranger feeling self-conscious about their hair.
And then they feeling like they need to hide behind their hat.
But if they no longer feel the need to hide behind their hat after the cut, Tony invites them to retire it on the wall.
I make them to have the signature on and have the name and the date.
The date, they stopped being strangers, Tony says, and started becoming friends.
Even like they climb, but they're not climbing anymore.
While Tony says there's about 100 other hats in storage that get rotated on the walls, there's just one that always hangs here.
I always grateful in that the hat.
Because it belonged to the man who first taught Tony how to speak English when he moved here from Vietnam, and despite needing a wheelchair now, travels across a couple municipalities by transit, so Tony can still cut his hair.
And he's 80 now, but he's still coming to see me.
And because each hat contains countless happy memories, Tony has promised to never sell them.
Unless they are getting famous, they celebrity, and then now I'm allowed to be auctioned, I can get rich on that.
And if that happens, Tony will accelerate his retirement plans to pack up his barbering tools and go traveling.
See the world and then see the people, and then I want to give them the haircut for free, completely free.
Because you can't put a price, Tony says, on how it feels to make your hair great again.
To make them look good and feel good.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.